Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fifth episode of Cricket Spectacle. It has been almost a month since we shot and uploaded our first video. Thank you for all the likes and comments. Your feedback is well and truly appreciated. As always, I have with me Nikhil and Dan. So without any further delay, let's get started. Guys, the India-England series had some fine moments and a few talking points. Be it Virat Kohli's heroics, Adil Rashid's new role as the power play bowler, Bhuvneshwar Kumar's comeback, and Jofra Archer's fiery spells. However, one thing that really impressed me the most was India's ability to win games from tough situations. With Dew making things difficult for Indian bowlers in the last two games, the home team still managed to level the series and then eventually won it. So, Nikhil, I'm going to start with you. So with all the talk going around with this Indian team not being the best T20I team, does this series win put all of that to rest?
If you beat the number one team in the world, then by just pure logic, you are supposed to be the number one, aren't you? It's like if you beat the best, you are the best kind of thing. But I think it's unfair to say that England are no longer number one because they obviously deserve where they are with their previous results, not this one probably, but I think India has been pretty dominant, haven't they? Like, I don't think we have lost a series at home, T20 series, for like 2-3 years now. I don't even remember the count.
For all the viewers, here's a bit of a stat that India are yet to lose a T20I series since March 2019. Both home and
away. Okay, guys. Hey, guys, the number one team's in Australia. You're confused again. It's okay.
Well, technically, though, India did win the T20I series in Australia as well. So there's that tick mark as well. But in all seriousness, no, it's probably one of the most balanced sides in T20, and I think a major chunk of that credit goes to the IPL as well, because the depth which India has right now is mainly coming from that tournament and the domestic circuit as well, but the exposure which they get, like imagine being 21, 23 years old and getting to speak to Ricky Ponting in the dugout and learning from him, the likes of which you wouldn't even imagine having a chance like 10 years ago or 12, 15 years ago. So for people to get that kind of exposure, that experience is what is pushing India forward. And I think for me, it still remains, the World Cup still remains the ultimate test. If you win a T20 World Cup, you are the best team in the world. Unless you win that, it's just series. And there are so many things you can say, like England were experimenting, they were not serious, blah, 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 conditions, etc., and all those things. So the only thing that can put it to rest is if you win a World Cup where all the best teams are playing, and if you're winning, then you're the best. If not, then
that's the number of World Cups Australia. Sorry, by the way.
If you can beat Australia in the World Cup, that's the only time you can claim that you are actually the world champions or the best team in the world, right? Like India had to do it in the 2011 World Cup, and that's how you win, right? You beat the best teams on the day, and Australia did beat literally everyone from 99 to 2007, and almost everyone in 96 as well. So it wasn't like it was they just missed out by one game. So all in all, like the domination of the two countries, and now England trying to be the team to win both the ICC ODI and the T20. That it will only happen if, I would probably consider them the best team only if they win the World Cup, or even India for the matter, or Australia, whoever it is. For me, number one means win the World Cup and you can have that tag and move forward.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It's none of this pretend stuff. It sort of grates me when they announced David Malan as the number one batsman in the world. It's like number one batsman, David Malan. Seriously, number one?
Yeah.
Out of all the
And
people in the
he has
world, this
been
is the guy.
informed. You can call him the most informed batsman in the last 1 year or something, and that's absolutely fair because that's a fact. You can't change a fact.
Yes.
But I mean, if you're gonna call him the best batsman in the world, then I can't take it seriously. I mean, I'm not saying he's not good. Not the
No,
best for me.
I agree. I'm not saying he's not bad. I mean, anyone who can face up to some of the bowlers around the world, but to say he's the best in the world, he's better than Kohli, he's better than Pandya, he's better than Rohit Sharma, any Australian, even a Kiwi.
Kane Williamson, he's been in good form as well. Yeah, this so many of them actually. You can't. Plus, you can bring the whole West Indian team into the equation, and they'll probably be up there as well. Most of them will be. So there's so many. Yeah, it's not it's one of those things, right? Like unless you prove it at the highest level for a consistent amount of time, it's hard to take it seriously. Like, okay, you are the number one in terms of rankings, which are very flawed. Then okay, if you want to brag about that, fine, but it's not actually worthy of bragging, is it? So
well, it's kind of like an Irishman calling himself the English cricket captain. You know, it's not, you can't really take him seriously.
I mean, I don't know how Morgan is going to take to that, but I completely agree with that, though. I completely agree with it.
Okay, Dan, I'm going to stay with this David Malan topic and come to you. So,
Yes.
What do you think? Yes, with Malan, we have seen that he has done well in the format, in the T20I format from the last couple of years. Yes, the India series was, let's say, a bit of a struggle for him. He wasn't really able to get going, except that last match in which he scored a 50. So, Dan, do you think that England need a change in their batting order as far as the T20I format is concerned? Also, would you have Joe Root back in your T20I side, given his ability to play spin well and even bowl spin? I think he's an underrated bowler.
Oh, you get 1 5-wicket haul and suddenly you're a spinner.
No, that's not it. Why I say he's an underrated bowler? I have a couple of occasions. One, he got those crucial wickets in the T20I World Cup final between England and West Indies in 2016. Remember his opening spell? And two, he again got those couple of wickets against West Indies in the 2019 World Cup. So yes, I can say that with those facts, he's a man with a golden arm.
Oh, mate, you're reaching now. You're sure Michael Vaughan hasn't got you on the payroll yet? It's like saying, oh well, David Malan's number one. Are you calling Joe? I would be embarrassed to get out to Joe Root. I mean, he's a pie chucker just because he's a slowish right arm bowler. I wouldn't even call him a spinner. I mean, let's be serious. You get 1 haul and suddenly you're something. I would not have Joe Root in the side. The problem with England right now is their best side's unbalanced and they haven't had their best side in T20 World Cricket because they're trying to save themselves for the Ashes. You could have Joe Root as your opening batsman, but then, you've got no Alex Hales right now. Johnny Bairstow needs to be dropped. If he's not opening, he's not in the side. You should be opening with Jason Roy, Ben Stokes, Alex Hales, then Josh Butler. I mean, they're your impact players. Joe Root doesn't get a call up for me. His spin isn't that good.
Very brave of you, Dan, to imagine that Michael Vaughan can actually pay any one of us off because he can afford us. Come on.
Well, I'm not sure, lads. You're talking England up. That's disappointing for one. And the fact is, I mean, you don't really sort of see Joe Root in your best side anymore. He went to the right school. Let's just put it at that.
I completely agree with Joe Root being out, though. That's for sure. Like for me, though, the main issue is that they are wasting their talent, which is being pushed down because, like, you're not utilizing Ian Morgan, you're not utilizing Ben Stokes, you're not utilizing Butler, and if you add Joe Root into that equation, you're just going to mess it up even more. And nothing to do with his bowling. He's probably not going to even bowl like maybe more than 2 overs, so he'll get maybe hit one of those overs, get a wicket, but that's regardless, whatever that might be. But just from a team balance perspective, if you add Root into that chaos right now, which is happening in the England lineup, you are just going to implode. So I can't see Joe Root coming back into the side, at least for the World Cup.
Well, I mean, Joe Root's really lucky to be hanging on to his test spot. I mean, he hadn't scored centuries last year for 12 months.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the world leading bowlers have worked him out. He's still got that weakness outside of off stump.
Yeah.
Despite what he's done with his stats. And, he didn't sort of come good in India. I mean, he belted Sri Lanka when Sri Lanka had an awful schedule. I mean, anyone could have done that. Zimbabwe would have belted Sri Lanka. But it's just like, he's an overrated player and he's an overrated bowler. And, I think he'll get found out in Australia quite easily. He'll be dropped again.
Possibly. Can't rule it out though. Like, I mean,
fair to say that an Aussie and an Indian Aussie don't like Joe Root. So guys,
I don't like Joe Root for actual cricketing reasons.
I'm sure he's a wonderful person. He's got some interesting hobbies. I'm sure he was teased at school as a boy. But he on his day, he's a good batsman. Is he in the top 4 in the world? No. Is he in the top 5, top 10? No. There are too many other good players out there from India, Australia, Pakistan, New Zealand. So I just think he's, England have been talking themselves up. They fell into a World Cup final and won a World Cup.
World Cup.
They tied to win.
Yeah. They tried to win the World Cup. That's a discussion we'll have at a later date for sure. That's going to be an exclusive episode.
Yeah. It's kind of like giving someone the most improved trophy or the participation award.
You tried award. You tried.
Yeah. I think in terms of T20, yes, they're a very talented side, but they don't sort of have their best side on the park. Their bowlers should be Mark Wood, Jofra Archer, Ali Rashid, and then maybe one more quick, a Sam Curran for a bit of variety, or a Tom Curran. We didn't see him sort of perform out there as well. Alex Hales has got to come into the side too. And then, there'll be that sentimental, let's get Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad in for something as well.
Jimmy Anderson in a T20 World Cup though. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Like, he shouldn't be.
I do. I mean, it'll be a great retirement party for him.
It wonon't. I mean, it would be for the rest of the world, probably not him.
Yes.
It won't probably be good for him. He'll get bashed in India. I mean, on those pitches, he'll get slaughtered.
And suddenly, I think it does not make any sense to have, someone like Jimmy Anderson come into the ODI side, say after a span of 6-7 years. He last played, I think, in ODI cricket for England in 2015 World Cup, and since then he has been, consistently playing tests only. So yeah, England, with the kind of depth they have, it doesn't make any sense to have Broad and Anderson now in the white ball formats.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the last time they were in the white ball tournament, they got smashed.
Yeah,
they got creamed.
They got beaten by Bangladesh, and they didn't qualify for the World Cups. It's something that Nikhil and I witnessed together.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny with England. Like, they only remember their good moments. They don't remember the times that they've had in anything else. So it's like, oh, this is the time we won, or this is the time we got close to winning. The eternal optimists of the game they invented. They're just not good at it anymore. Let's be honest.
That's what we are here for, Dan. We will make sure that they remember their low moments. That's what we are here for.
What I'm really excited about is that, once the Ashes comes, our discussions are going to be much more funnier and healthier. It's going to be really, really fun because you guys are going to be actually, bashing.
I think it's funny that you mentioned the Ashes, Sid, because right now I think let's have a bet now. Which England star will retire on the Ashes tour?
See, I think
during or after.
Yeah, during or after.
During.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
In between.
That's the important question.
we're going to say during, because I'm going to say Riley Meredith will be playing, and I'm going to say
that's a big call.
And I'm going to say Jimmy Anderson, and closely followed by Stuart Broad. Stuart will be out by Melbourne. Jimmy won't last 5 tests.
Yeah, I think according to me, for Australia, I think of course, if Mitchell Starc is in good form, definitely he starts for me. But if that's not the case, then I would love to see James Pattinson and maybe Riley Meredith play. On the other hand, I think Jimmy Anderson's retirement could be coming if he does not do well in the first couple of tests. So that could happen.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, that could happen.
What do you mean if?
When he doesn't do well.
He doesn't do well.
I said it in the last episode also that Jimmy Anderson is a different bowler in overseas conditions now. So literally watch out for him, both of you.
He's an overseas bowler.
He'll probably get 1 wicket.
Yeah, he's a different bowler in overseas conditions, Sid. He just doesn't bowl very well.
Now he has started to bowl well. So I'm going to stand my ground on this for sure. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. We will come back to this after the second test, and they have the retirement speech and stuff coming out. So we'll wait for it.
If Sid's wrong, Nikhil, I think Sid should have to dye his hair Jimmy Anderson blonde, like he did. Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's a fair call. Yeah, that's a fair call.
That's
the only option. Yeah.
And
okay,
if I'm wrong, so I'm wrong. What if you guys are proven wrong? Then what do you will do?
We can't discuss impossible circumstances.
Well, no. I mean, in the off chance that Nikhil and I are wrong, we'll do the Australian tradition of drinking a beer to say we were wrong, an apology beer.
Yeah.
Like, we're not there in India with you, so we'll have the apology beer live online and apologize with a beer in the traditional Australian manner.
Yeah, we can have 2 if you want.
3,
we accept
6, 9.
That's fine. We accept that punishment.
And we're happy to promote whatever Indian beer you want us to promote.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Beer is not required. You just try and promote cricket spectacle, among your fans or whatever friends or whoever friends you have in Australia. That's more than enough.
We'll get Michael Vaughan to do it next. We'll just get Michael Vaughan to do it. All the promotions for cricket spectacle: Michael Vaughan, Michael Atherton, and who's remaining? Who else is there?
Jeffrey Boycott.
All of them.
Graham Swan. Graham Swan, we'll get him. Matt Pryor. Kevin Peterson.
Peterson would happily do it.
Yeah, he's the only decent England cricketer to come out of South Africa.
Because he came out of South Africa.
Okay, guys. Okay. Let's shift back to the topic. So, Nikhil, I'm going to come to you for this.
Yeah.
So, see what we saw in the T20I series, especially in the last game, and this is the last question of this episode. With Virat Kohli opening, it allows India to possibly play both Suryakumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan, which means that India will have quite a few genuine hitters in their batting order, with Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, and Ravindra Jadeja once he comes back, and even Shreyas Iyer did well. So with KL Rahul still in fray, as said by Rohit Sharma, what does it mean for Shikhar Dhawan? Is it possibly the end of the road for him in the shortest format for India? Starting with you, and then I'm going to come to Dan.
This is what I say.
We're pretty clear, I think, with the 2 opposite answers which are coming for this question. With me already last week, moving past Dhawan, but I think it's the answer which I'm giving has nothing to do with Shikhar Dhawan as a player or a person or whatever that is, because it's all about the team composition which India has. And we saw that in the 5th test. I think we discussed it last week as well, that we wanted Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma to open. Dan mentioned it as well. We want those 2 to open, and then probably even Hardik Pandya coming in at 3 and stuff like that. It's possible. If India have in the World Cup get a good start, 12 overs, no loss, 98 runs on the board, and one of the 2, Rohit or Virat, gets out, and then Hardik Pandya comes in. equation or the thing which is interesting here is you can literally pick any one of the players coming in and promote them at number 3, and they will all do the same job.
Yeah.
You can go to Shreyas Iyer, you can go to Hardik Pandya, you can go to Rishabh Pant, you can go to Jadeja, you can go with literally anything you want if you open with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. The fact that, let's say, one of them gets out early, then the other person can stick around and see the innings through like Kohli did in the 5th ODI. And I think that kind of closes the door for Shikhar Dhawan, because like Rohit said, that the backup would be KL Rahul.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, KL Rahul is probably India's best opener after Rohit Sharma, of course, but that's the best option, the second option. But for the sake of balance, and I think Virat Kohli already said that he's opening in the IPL as well. So by default, I'm assuming that he's going to be opening in the World Cup as well. So that means that Shikhar Dhawan falls to number 4. Then you need 2 players to be out of the equation, which is very unlikely. And especially in Indian conditions, you'll not probably need to go back to Shikhar Dhawan once again. So
yes,
as much as Dan would hate to hear this, probably Shikhar Dhawan has seen the road at least for the next. Not next, it's the end of the road for him, sadly. Maybe he'll do well in IPL though. So there's that.
Just remember something, mate. You know where Shikhar lives? He lives in Melbourne.
Oh, he does, exactly.
Oh.
That's why I hope he's not looking at this video. I'm pretty sure. That's why I have the fake background as well. You think I'm on the beach, but I'm actually not on the beach. So I'm trying to...
He lives in Melbourne, Victoria.
Yeah. I've actually seen his house. It's a funny story, but one of my mates, we were just going around the area, and he had just shown me his house. And he told me that Shikhar Dhawan lives here, and I didn't believe him because I thought, of course, why would Shikhar Dhawan be living here? And then I actually went back home and Googled it, and apparently that is where he lives. So I know his house. He doesn't know mine. That's the best part. So as long as he doesn't show up on my door, I'm safe. So.
And your thoughts on the topic.
Well, you know my thoughts, mate. I stand by what I said last week. You need Shikhar Dhawan, and you need a 6 bowler. You don't have a 6 bowler. Where India falls down is like if you have one bowler who gets pasted, it puts a lot of pressure on the other 4. Not having that 6 bowling option can really unbalance your lineup. So you're going to need another all-rounder there to shore up the batting and bowling. That's why I think you open with Rishabh Pant and Kohli, and then you've got room there to stick in another all-rounder.
Yeah, right. I think I would say that, I'm a big fan of Rohit and Virat opening, something that I had been, thinking about from the last couple of years. I think that does give an opportunity to the likes of, Surya Kumar and Ishan Kishan, Rishabh Pant to, bat with a free license and just go after the bowlers. Because I think in this era of the T20I format, you really need, I think, 3 accumulators and maybe 3 or 4 hitters. Because if in this way India have all the bases covered, I think it's going to be very, very tough for the other teams to, beat India. Because, see, with India actually winning these 2 games, specifically with the fact that, there was a dew factor and there wasn't much help for the Indian bowlers. I think this is where I think 200 plus totals are very much necessary. Something that actually goes on to put pressure on the opposition. So yeah, I think having too many accumulators in the side, say maybe someone like Rohit, Kohli, Iyer, and even Dhawan, or probably even Rahul, may not be that good specifically in the 11, and that is where you need hitters who can just smash the ball, smash the bowlers from ball 1.
Yeah,
great.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I'm a huge fan of Kohli and Rohit Sharma opening, and they're probably like 2 of the best in the format, like in the world. There's no, and if even one of them clicks, that the rest of the team it takes so much pressure off the players. Like we saw it in the last ODI as well, that people just came and just started swinging because they knew Virat Kohli is not going to get out of the other end. He's going to hold his end. He will accelerate in the end. All they needed to do was just come swing. If they lose 2 early wickets, let's say quick wickets, 3 and 4, the third and the fourth, then Kohli slows down, the team balances, and again they go after that. But in India, you'll probably more often than not, if you come and start swinging, or they have the ability to do it, you'll succeed. On those pitches, on those small grounds, you will get away with it. If it's a challenging wicket, probably not, but I think they'll make for an entertaining match, they'll make flatter wickets, and it's going to be a high scoring World Cup, isn't it? So that kind of system will work for India.
Possible, yeah. So, okay, guys, that was all from part 1, and we are going to discuss quite a few things in part 2. So, stay tuned.
All right. See you, mate.